And I don't ever want anything that I ever do or say to get on the kids.
Right.
And so in that way,
Was it a heartfelt confession or a perfectly timed performance? On the dazzling stage of the 2025 American Music Awards, Blake Shelton leaned into the microphone, the lights of Las Vegas glinting in his eyes, and delivered a line that sent cheers echoing through the arena. He was talking about his wife, Gwen Stefani, but his words seemed aimed at quieting a million whispers. For months, the seemingly idyllic marriage between the country king and the pop queen has been the subject of intense speculation, with rumors of a growing rift hiding just behind their radiant smiles. The world saw a husband's touching tribute, a moment of pure, unscripted love. But what if it wasn't unscripted at all? What if what we witnessed was a masterpiece of public relations, a desperate attempt to patch up a narrative that was starting to unravel? The real story of Blake and Gwen might not be the one they're selling, and the truth behind that perfect AMA moment is far more shocking than anyone imagines. The scene itself was a masterclass in Hollywood perfection. There, amidst the glamour and chaos of one of music's biggest nights, Blake Shelton stood alone, tasked with introducing the next performer. "Let's hear it from a winning artist who I really love," he said, his familiar Oklahoma drawl warming up the crowd. Then he paused, letting the weight of the moment hang in the air before delivering the crucial line. "Let's hear it from my one and only, the one and only Gwen Stefani." It was intimate, it was adoring, and it was broadcast live to millions. As Gwen took the stage looking every bit the icon she is, she launched into a powerful medley of her greatest hits, a nostalgic journey back to her 2005 AMA win with Sweet Escape and Holla Back Burl. The energy was electric. To everyone watching, it was a flawless display of a power couple at the height of their happiness, a husband publicly fawning over his superstar wife. Every smile, every glance, every single note seemed designed for maximum impact, reinforcing the storybook image they've so carefully cultivated. But that was only the beginning of a story that gets far more complex. Behind that glittering facade, however, a very different narrative has been taking shape. For well over a year, the internet has become a breeding ground for theories about the state of their union. Anonymous online forums and gossip columns have been filled with whispers that the couple's 7-year age gap and clashing lifestyles were finally taking their toll. Reports claimed that the pressures of their demanding careers were forcing them apart, leading to long stretches of time on opposite sides of the country. Fans online have become amateur detectives, dissecting every red carpet photo for signs of tension, analyzing their interviews for hidden meanings, and noting every solo appearance as potential evidence of a private struggle. The rumors suggest a constant push and pull, a disagreement over their future. Blake, it's been said, is desperate to retreat to his quiet life in Oklahoma, while Gwen remains firmly planted in the fast-paced world of Los Angeles. So when Blake delivered that seemingly perfect line at the AMAs, a wave of skepticism washed over those who had been following the whispers. Was this genuine affection, or was it expertly executed damage control? To truly understand the pressure they're under, you have to remember that this entire relationship was forged in the fires of public humiliation and heartbreak. Their love story didn't begin with a fairy tale, it began with a catastrophe. That's the very word Gwen Stefani used to describe the implosion of her nearly 2-decade-long marriage to rocker Gavin Rossdale. She spoke of how her world completely fell apart, how the discovery of betrayal left her shattered and questioning everything. At the exact same time, Blake Shelton was navigating his own personal disaster. His marriage to Miranda Lambert, a union that had been seen as country music royalty, ended abruptly, shocking fans and leaving a trail of unanswered questions. Two massive stars, at the absolute pinnacle of their fame, found their lives publicly dismantled. Then, in the midst of that shared wreckage, they found each other on the set of The Voice. It was a lifeline. They were two people at rock bottom who understood each other's pain in a way that no one else could, and their bond became a symbol of survival, a testament to the idea that you can find your own sweet escape even after the most devastating storm. From the moment they went public, they were celebrated as Hollywood's most endearingly unlikely couple. She was the edgy, platinum blonde powerhouse from Orange County, the ska punk idol who defined a generation of cool with no doubt. He was the quintessential country gentleman from a small town in Oklahoma, a man more comfortable in boots and a pickup truck than on a Beverly Hills red carpet. Their worlds couldn't have been more different. The polished glamour of the LA music scene versus the dusty, quiet roads of Tishomingo. It was a rom-com plot come to life, and the world was utterly captivated by their chemistry. But as the initial novelty wore off, a more challenging reality likely set in. Those charming differences, their taste in music, their political leanings, their social circles, their very definitions of home, may have transformed from quirky selling points into genuine sources of friction. Can two people from such fundamentally opposing universes truly merge their lives forever without one of them eventually feeling like a stranger in their own life? That cultural clash is only amplified by the complexities of their blended family. When Blake officially became Gwen's husband, he also became a stepfather to her 3 sons from her marriage to Gavin Rossdale, Kingston, Zuma, and Apollo. By all public accounts, he has poured his heart into the role, teaching the California-bred boys about country life, from fishing on his ranch to exploring the great outdoors. He appears to be a devoted and loving figure in their lives. However, the situation is nothing but simple. Blake is not just any stepfather. He is a world-famous celebrity, helping to raise the children of another rock star. The constant navigation of co-parenting duties with Gavin Rossdale, all while under the relentless glare of the paparazzi, adds a layer of pressure that is hard to comprehend. Every family vacation, every holiday, every school event becomes a potential headline, creating a high-wire act of diplomacy and patience that could test even the strongest of relationships. Adding another potential strain to the mix are their diverging career ambitions. In a move that shocked his massive fan base, Blake Shelton walked away from his iconic red spinning chair on The Voice. After more than a decade on the show that made him a household name and introduced him to his wife, he decided he was done. He spoke about wanting to take a step back, to enjoy the fruits of his labor, and embrace a more peaceful existence on his sprawling Oklahoma ranch. It wasn't just leaving a job, it was a conscious decoupling from the Hollywood machine. Gwen, on the other hand, shows no signs of slowing down. If anything, her ambition is burning brighter than ever. Between running her successful beauty empire, GXV Beauty, pursuing new fashion collaborations, and hints of new music on the horizon, she remains a creative and entrepreneurial force. When one person is actively chasing the sunset from a quiet front porch, and the other is still chasing the spotlight, where do they find common ground? The fear of fans is that they might eventually stop meeting in the middle at all. And through it all, the shadows of their famous exes continue to linger. Their pasts are not just memories, they are public record, constantly re-examined and reinterpreted by the media and fans. Every time Gavin Rossdale gives an interview about his past or his co-parenting relationship with Gwen, it dredges up the painful history she fought so hard to overcome. Similarly, Miranda Lambert's powerful songwriting often leads fans to dissect her lyrics, searching for clues and references to her time with Blake. It's an inescapable reality of their lives. Blake and Gwen have built their own beautiful love story, but their former partners have their own narratives, their own truths, and their own massive fan bases. When those worlds collide, whether through a new song or a candid interview, it can throw a long shadow over the present, reminding everyone that their new beginning rose from the ashes of a very public ending. This brings us back to that single, solitary moment on the AMA stage. As Gwen soaked in the applause after her performance and Blake watched from the wings, the questions hung heavy in the air. Was his gushing introduction a genuine, spontaneous overflow of love for his wife? Or was it a brilliantly executed move in a high-stakes game of perception, a public performance designed to silence the deafening roar of rumors? Their entire relationship has been a tightrope walk between a deeply personal connection and a globally recognized brand. They are not just a couple, they are an idea, a symbol of second chances. But as whispers of private struggles grow louder, we are forced to wonder if the fairy tale is starting to fray at the edges. Are they living a love story, or are they just playing the lead roles in one? The truth, as always, is likely hidden somewhere between the loving words whispered into a microphone and the silent, unseen moments when the cameras finally stop rolling.